Hello, everyone. So, welcome to our first podcast with Max and Maximilian. Hi,
Yeah, so
Max.
hey, how are you doing?
Very good. And you?
Myself as well. Thank you very much for asking. So this
Nice.
podcast aims to, just educate maybe the layman under all of us, about voice AI and how you can actually implement it in your business and how useful voice AI actually is, which kind of brings us to the first point that most or a lot of people now actually think that AI has kind of reached its point of diminishing returns, that we aren't going to see any more improvement in the future when it comes to AI, and that it kind of starts to get boring now, and we slowly start falling or rapidly start falling into the trough of disillusionment, meaning that everyone kind of realizes that, well, maybe AI isn't so great as we all thought, and that only billionaires profit off it. I think that's like the sentiment that most people would argue nowadays.
Yeah, I get it. However, I disagree. I wouldn't really say it's most people because for me, I've been talking to many people. I've experienced that. Of course, us inside the AI bubble, especially the voice AI bubble, we really know what's going on, read the news every day. So you really see what's going on. For the majority of the population, they just heard about ChatGPT and then maybe some other headlines. So for them, it's definitely doesn't feel like this. They're still like, wow, it's so crazy. And they see something new of AI every day or every week. And so I'm sure that for them it feels different. However, I do understand your point because also the latest model GPT 4.0 hasn't had such huge performance improvements. Um, Many people probably expected GPT-5, me included. However, I would argue that the whole technology is extremely new, and we've seen such incredible growth over the last couple of years that like it's fine if it's getting a bit slow. I mean, that's my opinion. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, that's definitely a thing to take into consideration, since AI is still like quite niche. There are 8 billion people on Earth, and if I believe, like, what are the numbers? Like 30% don't even have access to the internet.
Yeah, yes,
Um, so that's a huge indicator that AI still hasn't reached every single human being on the planet,
absolutely.
or affected them in any way.
Yeah, that's true. Like for me, like of course we can think about, okay, has AI reached its peak? Is there going to be a huge pit? But I think like for me personally and for you as well, we run our agencies, we work with this stuff, and it's just going very well. People are very interested in like AI is in the end, at the end of the day, just another tool in the toolbox, and you can use it. And if you're able to use it so that it generates more revenue for other people or saves them a lot of time, then that's super valuable.
Yeah,
And
and I think that these actual use cases are going to start to pop up now. We are probably in the future are now going to, like, kind of be more humble towards AI and finally start seeing those real use cases pop up, which I haven't really seen at all from even like deep inside the community. I've still been like hyper fixated on generative AI, which I'm absolutely not a fan of because I hate these AI generated images and videos personally, because I don't take any value from them. I believe that there are finally the diminishing returns kicking in when it comes to generative AI, meaning LLMs and those diffusion models. But that's just talking about generative AI and LLMs. Now, obviously, what's being used nowadays everywhere and also in voice AI applications are LLMs. That's the backbone of it. But
absolutely.
the thing about it is that it's not just one single LLM that's doing everything, and it's not like, oh, GPT-5, the chatbot, can now do voice calling and everything. It's more like a um, well, precise and kind of meticulous and thought through process of sticking all of these single pieces together and in the end creating like this big picture of an actual solution. So it's not just people coming to you and saying like, here, chatbot, which has died obviously because it wasn't an actual solution. The actual efficiency of solving a problem is now flattening off. It's not exponential anymore. Over the past, we have seen growth in problem solving, um, when it comes to like the efficiency, because the AI then started to use less tokens and was able to finish problems faster with less compute. But now, even with more efficient LLM, the whole like usage of compute and tokens isn't going down. Like the sum of it isn't going down. We are actually now seeing through the data that we are starting to hit diminishing returns. But this actually only applies to, again, LLMs and generative AI. And that's not actually, in my opinion, going to be the future. The future is going to be something completely different. But what do you think about this?
Yeah, you've made some interesting points there. I've got a few comments to make on this. First of all, would you say that you're disappointed from how AI turned out? Because it sounded like it. You said you're not a big fan of those images, like the DALL-E images, and also like efficiency is going down, and you didn't sound too enthusiastic. Would you say that you're disappointed? And if yes, why?
I guess I'm disappointed in the trend that AI is, not in AI itself as a whole, because guess what? Spoiler alert, LLMs aren't the only like model or thing in AI. It's like much broader, but it goes back to like the trend that where these companies are leading the consumer and leading the mainstream market. I think that is wrong, because we already have all of the building blocks and components to actually create now real solutions, which we are seeing with voice AI, that it's not being talked about. And this is why we are also doing this little like session or podcast, whatever you want to call
Absolutely.
it, to
Yeah.
just kind of shine a light on actual use cases, and that LLMs or AI in general actually has a use case. And it's not just made up of stupid chatbots and some like
Yeah.
trendy YouTube
It
gurus.
can be used in incredible ways to provide incredible amounts of value. One
Yeah.
thing that's very interesting is that with AI, like working with AI or developing systems with AI, the entry barrier right now is very low, because it's really easy to just create a GPT or create some automations, create some chatbot on voice flow, and then the thing really does something. You can talk to, you can even call some functions, etc. Quite easy to
Yeah.
develop, easy for what you get, because people can actually chat with it, and it like kind of has its own personality. So easy to what you get, but that also means that there are many people who aren't very professional, who are just starting this, and they can do some very basic stuff that you're seeing a million times over and over again, because it's just so easy to enter this market. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
also one thing to consider. Also, one thing that maybe where your bit of your disappointment might come from a bit, because many people talk about AI, but entry barrier is very low. That's why the stuff that you see aren't always super amazing. Soon we can talk about some good use cases that we're currently developing, that we've created, and I would say those are quite good.
The actual use case, which currently is working and is live and could be implemented into businesses or your business if you're watching right at this moment. Like call one of us and we can get it set up. That's the one thing that actually could take away some jobs, I would say.
If you personally are really good at your job and you're crushing it, then AI makes you even better. You can
Yeah.
use AI and become 3 times as efficient. Like I've done with coding, I've done lots of coding, and then I used ChatGPT, and then I've got like 3 times as fast. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, if you're lacking, if you're like not really invested and you don't really care and you just do what you always did, if you stay the same and other people just become 3 times as good, then your job is at risk.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So with singular tasks, implementing AI as like an assistant and as a helper, it will make you, I would say, like 70% more efficient. That's
Easy.
what it can do. But you still need the brain of the human to actually piece it all together. So there won't be like one finished like package to just be put on your table, and OpenAI says this is GPT-5, it can solve every single problem. No, this
I
this
don't
will
know if
this
the
will
case.
not happen. Just in general, if someone comes to you and says you just need a chatbot, or they're trying to sell you like one thing, especially when it comes to AI, then you should be wary of it, because there's like much more to actually go into it. Even post launch, even after your launch campaigns, and have those bots and have those prompts all configured and connected, you still need to have you still need an eye to watch over it, which is an experienced person or developer in this specific field in order to have it all working properly. And this is like stuff that's actually missing right now because most people are unaware of the maintenance that actually has to go into this all. And if they are selling you a set and forget solution, then don't expect anything great. That's just it.
I was someone contacted me saying, yeah, I would like to work with you. Is it possible to create this voice AI system? And then I told them my price, which is actually really fair. And then they said, oh, that's way too high. Please go much, much, much lower. And then they told me that they've got another guy who did it for like a third of my price. Then he said, okay, but the solution actually didn't work. And he
Yeah, yeah.
doesn't get any support. And now he's stuck at, okay, yeah, I mean, if you go super cheap, then I guess go ahead, but you might not get the best thing.
And this kind of goes back to the thing of the low barrier of entry. When we are talking about VAPI or voice AI in general, there needs to be like a whole back end system and infrastructure in order to actually power this thing which is here for this to
Absolutely.
actually work and to get you not just like okay and mediocre results, because you can make it work with very little. I just write one sentence as a prompt, one short sentence, and it will work. It will say something, and then we might actually be able to book a call or something.
Before you mentioned, you said, yeah, it might take us 2 hours to set this thing up. Yes, in 2 hours, I can put together a voice AI system that works very well with good personality. You can talk to it, sounds great, but you still have to do all the backend stuff and you have to optimize it. Because with voice AI stuff, I always make many, many calls. I also ask many different people to have calls with it in order to see every single mistake. Because if you develop a bot and you call it 10 times, and 10 times it works very well, but every 12th time it fucks up, it makes some mistake. And if you use it for many people, would you want every 12th person to experience it? Rather not. If you test it 300 times and every 301st time there's a mistake, okay, I mean, fair enough. But it's
Yeah.
like lots of time does actually go into it to develop it to make it work well. It's
Yeah,
important.
so I would say like the puppy phase is like important for it because launching it and actually building it is not really the big part of it. It's more the maintenance and actually the true optimization for it to perform at its best level.
100%.
And this is where like the expertise comes in and just the general awareness of past data and actual analysis of performance or thorough
Oh, yeah.
analysis of performance. Maybe let's dive deeper into actually how voice AI works and why it is actually a good thing and why it should be considered.
Voice AI, very interesting. I'm focusing very heavily on voice AI right now, and I have experienced some very interesting stuff over the last 2 days actually. So I was in Frankfurt at an AI conference. There were many people, many different companies. Most of them had something to do with AI. And me and my business partner, we just went there just to speak with people, just to see what's going on, just to learn some new things. And of course, we told some people about voice AI, and not a single person we talked to. And we talked to CEOs of companies, of small companies, of big companies, or head of AI, like really important people, really amazing, good people. And no one knew that those agents, the ones that we can develop, that this is even a thing. No one ever heard of it. Some people mentioned robo calling, where you have like type 1 to do this, to do this.
IVRs, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So people, right now we're very early. People, almost no one has heard about it, but like people really like it because everyone really understands it. Because if you say, okay, well, my pitch was, okay, you can chat with ChatGPT, but you can also speak with it on the phone. Um, and that's just something that everyone understands. Everyone instantly says, "Oh, nice! It can answer my inbound calls. There are so many inbound calls. It can do that, right? Can it also do outbound calls? Yes. Can it schedule appointments? Yes. Can it call functions? Yes. Does it have a knowledge base? Yes." So
Can it
there are
actually help people?
so
Can it
many.
actually answer questions? Can it actually be a useful tool? Can it actually improve customer success? Yes. All yes. Because it's just such a much better medium than SMS or email. You can personalize it to hell and heaven and back. That's the beautiful thing. Either through like custom injected prompts with variables with the name or specific info about the lead that's being called or the person that's being called, or even cloning your own voice and having it be like your kind of voice clone or AI clone on the phone that everyone can call and just chat with, ask questions, and get some useful knowledge and have it complete some tasks for you, because the possibilities are actually endless. And it doesn't just stop at booking appointments. You can complete payments, you can book reservations yourself with the AI through outbound calling. That's actually possible. Order food yourself if you're kind of a shy person and don't really want to order the food yourself.
Nice one.
You can always have the AI do that for you. I think the hilarious thing about the conference is that it's crazy that there still was like absolute total utter sheer and unawareness of voice AI.
Yeah, and we had such amazing conversations, because what we did is I just like two of us, we just came along, and I brought my phone, of course, and I brought this number, and if you call it, then an AI answers the phone. You can just speak with it, and many people were interested, and then we said, okay, would you like to try it out? Yes. Then I gave them the phone, or they just called the number with their own phone, and they talked to it, and they all started like almost all of them started smiling and started testing it, started asking some weird questions, and it just responds super well, and this is so amazing. Also, we talked with like the people that were most interested were the chatbot companies, because there were actually a few companies with like just below about 50 employees, like 30,
Oh,
40
okay.
employees, developing chatbots, some of them even for public sector, which is not that easy to get into. And they were all very, very interested in voice AI, because with voice AI, what can you do? You can give people, like if there are many like refugees in a country or foreign people, then they're not all going to speak the native language of the country, and they won't all speak English. And you can create voice AI bots that speak 50 languages. It's just crazy. So many possibilities. We also had some very good conversations. We'll have many more interesting conversations in the future. So very hot topic right now.
Yeah, sure. And I believe it's important to be at the bleeding edge of it. So what I recommend that we do now is to stop talking and to not be boring anymore, and maybe to jump straight into a demo and just actually show you people watching what this is actually all about, and how this actually works, and why it honestly works so good already. So
Absolutely.
you've prepared something for us here.
Yeah. So what I'm going to show you is the voice, a very similar voice AI demo to the one that I showed at the conference, and that many people were quite impressed by. So yeah, let's try it out. I bought this number. I'm just going to call this number, and then I'll hold my phone close to the microphone, and then let's see what it does. Hey, this is Chloe, the AI assistant from Flowficiency. Are you ready to experience the future? Hey, Chloe. Yes, I'm ready. Great to meet you too. What's your name? My name is Max. Nice to meet you, Max. So tell me a bit about your company. What do you guys do? So I currently develop AI and IT automations for my customers. That sounds awesome, Max. What kind of challenges are you facing right now with your AI and IT automation? So there are quite a few challenges, but I would say mainly I'm very busy. So I'm getting many messages, I'm getting many calls, I'm just very busy right now. I hear you, Max. That sounds overwhelming. Have you thought about using an AI voice assistant to handle some of those calls and messages? No. What is that actually? Great question, Max. An AI voice assistant can take calls, answer questions, book appointments, and even follow up. It's like having a set of hands that works 24/7. How does that sound? That's cool. Are you actually like one of those assistants that could work for me or someone else? Exactly, Max. I'm a demo of what our AI voice assistants can do. Imagine me handling your calls and messages, freeing up your time. Would you like to know more about how we can set this up for you? Yes, absolutely. It sounds very interesting. Awesome. When are you available for a meeting to dive deeper into this? Let me take a look. So I am available like next Monday at 3 p.m. Does that work for you?
Perfect, Max. That time works. Could you share your email address so I can send you the meeting?
Sure. My email is max@flowefficiency.io.
Got it. I've just sent the meeting invitation to your email address. Looking forward to chatting more on Monday at 3 p.m.
Nice. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
You're welcome, Max. Have a fantastic day. Talk soon.
All right. Yeah. That's
Really
the
cool.
assistant.
Yeah, actual really good latency as well. Nice how you managed to do that. It sounded actually really natural. Let's actually jump into the back end and how you've built this out and what kind of tools you're using. Yeah, let's just dive into it.
And I'm going to show you exactly how you can replicate this thing. And I've spent a lot of time optimizing it and finding out what all those different settings are. So make sure to listen very closely, and then you can also have some good conversations with people at some tech conferences or wherever. Okay, so yeah, this is my template for the English language. I'm using Vapi. I'm a big fan of Vapi. There are many other providers. There are many very good other providers, but I use Vapi because it's very developer focused, and I am a developer myself, and their API is amazing. It gives you so much freedom, so many possibilities. And I've just had some very good experience with Vapi. So I use Vapi, but you can also build some assistants with other platforms. That's also possible. Okay.
Yeah, those which we are actually going to be over in future episodes. So there will be a comprehensive review of the whole space of voice AI, and we will be taking a look and breaking down each of the voice providers that are now either performing good or even the bad ones, because we do not hold back. We are not going to be sugarcoating anything for you. We just want to provide the best value for you so that you can make the best decision for your business.
Happy if we can show you some valuable stuff and give you some value, because that's exactly what we're here for. All right. So in general, how those assistants work is you talk to it on the phone or over web, whatever, you speak with it. Then what you say is transcribed, so it's turned into text. This text then goes into the LLM, and the LLM has this prompt. So the LLM first gets this prompt and then gets the messages you send it. Then the LLM responds by producing textual output. And then this textual output is being read by a voice that you can choose. And then you hear the voice, and then you can speak with it, and it goes back and forth. So that's how those things generally work. GPT-4o has been released, and GPT-4o is a real multimodal model. So it can skip the transcription part. So you can speak with it, it understands what you say, and then as an output, it gives voice. So its primary output is our sounds and not text. So you get with 4o, you get to skip the part where it first produces text and then reads the text, which is great for latency, which just works very, very well. However, it is not yet integrated in those platforms. So the way it works currently is that you use GPT-4o for textual stuff. So GPT-4o produces textual outputs, and then this textual output is being read by a voice from whatever provider. But I'm very sure that this is going to improve a lot in the future, that you'll be able to use an actual multimodal model.
Yeah, well, you have to know that currently that this is the worst that AI is going to be. If you're just currently getting into AI, and if you have been around for the last year, then you know that this was practically unusable 4 months ago. Even 4 months ago was hard to use, or basically far away from what it is now. And thanks to people like Vapi that have made these beautiful solutions for us, and for obviously you, the end consumer, the clients, this has improved drastically. I can confidently say that it has gotten 10 times better over the last year, and it will just keep getting better.
Yeah, it's so amazing. Like they just blast out new stuff. Here we've got the first message. In my case, hey, this is Chloe, the AI assistant from Flow Efficiency. Are you ready to experience the future? This is just the first thing that model is going to read. I think it just sounds cool for a demo. You can of course change it. Then we've got the system prompt, and this one is incredibly important, and it's like a whole science for itself how to create a good one. I put lots of time into it. Here you can see a simplified version, because for every single agent that I create, like it's usually much longer, but this is also very valuable. So I always have a role. So it tells the AI, you're Chloe, the best AI assistant in the world. This is emotional prompting. If you tell this to the assistant, then it's actually going to be more confident and better. It actually works. It has been proven. You speak slowly and clearly at all times. Then you should probably include that you work for this and this company and that people call you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, next, context. Callers are interested in learning more about flow efficiency and how they can take advantage of the AI revolution. Just for context, just important to know, because if you leave it out, then it's just a bit more lost. Then the task, what do? You start the conversation by asking for the caller's name, then you ask company, then ask for challenges, exactly what it did. Goal, just to inform the customer, make them excited about the solutions and so on. Guidelines, speak slowly, tailor conversation to the interests of the caller. Rules for language, basically the same thing again, just the way it speaks, responses, short and easy to understand words. Because you might notice I'm very focused on this, be short, be quick, easy to understand, easy conversation, because it tends to ramble for 2 minutes and it just talks and you think, okay, I really don't want to listen to this. So yeah, that's a very important part of the prompt. And it wasn't so easy to get to work, so it actually feels like a good conversation. And then knowledge base, just some general information. You can create a knowledge base inside of the prompt. So if you have a short knowledge base, and just put some info in here. If you have a bigger knowledge base, then you can upload whole documents like TXT or Word or PDF files with lots of information. Then, yeah, if you have lots of stuff, then rather put in documents and assign the document here so it's actually being used. Yes, also what I do here is emotional prompting, which is you are the best AI assistant in the world. Or if you ramble forever and it's boring, then you're going to be penalized, or yeah, then you're not going to get a bonus, whatever. Also uppercase letters, it just highlights the importance if you put it in uppercase. Also here we've got markdown formatting, which are those 2 stars, because it should understand that role is like a very important word here. That was the difficult part, and now we've got some more settings. You can set a transcriber, just leave it at DeepGram Nova 2 in English. You don't have to change anything here. And then here you can select the voice. You have different providers, 11 Labs, Play HT, Azure, and so on. They all have different voices. And then from 11 Labs, you can choose all their different voices. I like Sarah. I think it's a good voice. There are some other good ones, but I really like Sarah. You can also clone your own voice with 11 Labs and use it in here. I've done that. It's interesting. Yeah, some more settings. Back channeling. So while you speak, it says, yeah, yes, like a natural conversation. If you speak, then I'm going to say, yes. However, I also think that this sometimes sounds a bit weird. So I had where it sometimes says, yeah. That's a bit weird.
Yeah, and sometimes someone does it when it. Yeah, so that's a problem, because the AI obviously cannot gauge like its own output really. So this is where it's obviously like the expertise in this comes in, because if you would just be turning everything on, putting everything on 100%, then you obviously aren't going to get the best output. So there's a lot of fine tuning going into.
Definitely. Yeah, exactly. So that's most important stuff. You can make some settings for 11 Labs. This is nice. Optimize streaming latency. If you put it here, then you optimize latency. However, if you put it on 4, then voice gets a bit less reliable, which we don't really want. So I like 3 or 2. If you use multilingual, then 3 is good, but we'll talk about it in future videos. Then we have functions. This is very cool, because in here you can do the calendar thing that I just showed you in the last demo. So you can tell it, okay, if the client now tells you, okay, I would like to book a call on Monday at 3 p.m., then this thing is going to look into my calendar, Google Calendar, go ahead, whatever I use, and it's going to check, okay, are we available at this time? If we're available, then it's going to send yes, it works. If not, then it's going to send some alternative options for that day, maybe an hour before, an hour after. Then the assistant is going to read those and say, okay, oh no, unfortunately not, but we can offer this time slot, and it's going to go on like this until we find a good time slot. Then if you say, okay, yeah, let's book this, then it also makes a function called to book this thing, then it appears in your calendar, then you can send more emails afterwards, whatever.
Because it's such a customizable platform, there's even more to go into it, which we will be definitely doing, since this is just Vapi itself. Even just one provider is a whole rabbit hole to jump into.
Yeah.
Which we obviously can be excited about as developers, as implementers, and the goal here is to find the best solutions. The goal here is to find the most optimized solutions for real world implementations and use cases, because that's what it's all about. AI needs to stop being a cool kind of way to generate images or generate you a poem or a text. It finally needs to start actually living up to its promise, which is making people's lives easier and having people perform better. And this is what we are seeing. This is where it's heading. Thankfully, we are stepping away from these just purely vain and really useless, in my opinion, image and text generators, and now seeing these whole just thought out and complete solutions that now finally are able to solve actual problems, which just I believe is going to make and should make 99% of people on this planet, on this green and blue earth, excited about AI. And this is the mission that we have set ourselves, to just portray this for you and to make it as hopefully as palatable as possible for you to just kind of understand the whole shtick and the possible use cases, the tools, the systems, the programs that can be used and that are actually helpful, and things that aren't scams like NFTs were, or some other stuff that we have seen over the time. This just aids to be like a general education for people, for business owners, to understand AI and to know the place, or to know AI's place in your business and in the world in general, and how it will shape the future. Because in the future, when it comes to business, there will only be businesses that implement AI, and then there will be bankrupt businesses. So there will only be two options, and it is now your time to choose, because again, we are really, really early on this, as we have seen, as Max has told us, because going to such a big conference where you might think that there would be the newest technology presented, still nobody was aware of it. And that's in the corporate world. Like, that's just boring business meetings and conferences. There's obviously like an even bigger disconnect in the consumer world and maybe small business world, which definitely is a huge void, and a void that we aim to fill here.
Absolutely, yeah, and also one that will be filled 100%. And that's why it's good to be early, because then you still have a good chance to actually do something good here and to actually stand out and create some real value.
Yeah, and to obviously have a place in it, because that's the thing. Like, when the train leaves the station, then you're too late, and the train's just coming into the station right now.
That's very, very, very good way to say it. Yeah.
This just aims to help you realize that this actually works. You can now finally solve problems with it, and that you should take the first mover's advantage, because as with everything, if you are first, then you don't have to be good. This doesn't mean that there is no option or that you shouldn't be good, but it just means that now you're so early that you just cannot fail. And this is a situation that you should use and take to your advantage as a business owner, especially.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what we are. That's what we're doing. We hope that we could provide some good value. We hope that you understood what we said. Maybe, yeah, if you disagree or if you agree, then it would be very interesting if you would let us know in the comments. Also, if you have any questions, then also let us know. Be free to contact us. Yes.
Sure. Join the free Discord. Check out the templates. Connect with us. Connect with Max. Connect with Max. You know, we have both the same name, so I guess we've managed to kind of the stars aligned here when it came to our names.
Exactly. Nice. See you in the next one.